Super thankful for our students who showed up and made an incredible environment. It was really funny to see Willie sitting on the floor reading the newspaper and during the announcements. I had their player introduction. That's the first time I saw that, and that kind of kicked off the night. Man, South Dakota State's a really good basketball team. They're going to win a whole bunch of games, and I personally was very concerned about this one, and I mean, they didn't disappoint. I was really pleased. In the first half, I thought we played about 15 minutes the way we're capable of playing, minus the turnovers. I'm talking about on the defensive end. And then in the second half, there was probably only about 6 to 8 minutes. We decided to play the scoreboard and made a bunch of shots. But there was a stretch there where they made 8 out of 10 shots, and we can't allow that. We got to be better than that. And so very pleased. I know Cam had a career high, but I was more pleased with what he did on the defensive end because that young fella, Mayo, was averaging 28 coming in, and he's a heck of a player. And some of it was, he missed some shots he normally made, but a lot of it was Cam really being locked in on that.
You mentioned Cam's ability on defense, how great that was tonight. Could you also talk about his ability to facilitate? I felt like tonight he was able to pass the ball to his teammates pretty well tonight.
Well, the good thing for Cam is as he's locked in on scoring, and that's what we want him to do, and I don't want him to think about, like, making plays, and then the playmaking becomes easier because the guys who are open are, like, wide open, and he's not, like, having to thread the needle or read a ball screen and stuff, and that's been the case since he is, like, really bought into just being in attack mode. His assist-to-turnover ratio has been a lot better.
You talked the last game about paint touches, and I think your first 8 points were in the paint. You got a lot of layups early. How big was that just to open up the floor, do you think?
Yeah, no, it was big, and Will was a real presence, and the guys were attacking the paint. I like the flip side of that is that we kept them out of the paint, and they're really a paint dominant team with the two bigs that they play. Not too many teams play two bigs anymore, and they do a great job of it. And so our ability to keep them out of the paint was also something I was real pleased with.
Also, Art didn't suit up.
His knee was bothering him after the last game, and we just felt like if you can't practice, you can't play, and so he was unable to practice, and so it was probably wiser for us to let him rest.
Dede had his big night on Friday, and then RJ comes in and lights it up. What do you like about what he brings?
Well, we know R.J. Jones can shoot the basketball, right? He's a bucket getter, and I was more impressed with the chase down block that saved the bucket, and then the charge that he took. And we've worked really hard on him, not getting bumped off the ball and just being, tougher in certain situations. And I thought, like, there was great growth there for him. And, man, those two freshmen, like, Dede was – I don't know if he was pressing in the first half because it was his first start or, and then, when you have a big game as a freshman, then you're on the scouting report, right? And so people lock in on you. Now you got to adjust to the scouting report and be able to play. And so I thought in the first half, Dede was a little loose, playing off of one and playing with the ball in one hand. And second half, he had no turnovers. I thought he did a really good job.
Just going off of Cam's defensive effort, I mean, it seemed like he really did lock down Mayo. What kind of was the focus for him going into this game?
No, I think we've, everybody's like talked about Cam being a weapon this year, and I've said it multiple times, but for us, we need him to be a weapon on both ends. I think he could be one of the best two-way guards in America, and so we want him to not just focus on being a weapon on offense, but what he brings to us on the defensive end. And today he bought into that role, and I think I see that in him moving forward.
Is it fun for You to watch Will on offense when he gets down to the low block and does his kind of old school moves?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say it's fun. uh, I appreciate the fact that we can have someone we can throw the ball to down there, and they're going to get a good shot. And you know what's fun for me is watching Will set great screens and roll in, and then us giving them in touches, and him like making multiple efforts on defense, and those are the things. And like he's got so much growth, right? Like I mean. Last game was his first start in 2 years. Today was his, second start, and maybe the most minutes he had played in a while since maybe an NCAA tournament game a couple of years ago. And the growth that he has, he's got so much more in him, and that's what's going to be fun for me to watch all of that come out, because I mean he could be a really really good player for us.
Seems like he's got a great pivot foot as well. But.
Yeah, I mean, no, he's got good feet. He's got good feet. Sometimes he does too many moves. Like I think he's big and strong enough to go put a shoulder in somebody's chest and go to his right hand jump hook, and it's very soft, and so that we want to make him more efficient with his moves.
I also wanted to ask, have you seen Tyler and Cam kind of feed off each other since they've been here? Do you think they're better players because they're teammates now?
Yeah, I thought Day playing the point today early allowed TP to get some good looks and not be so focused on running the team, and got him going. And then he had a pretty good assist night too, 5-2. And so I thought that helped. But I just you got to have weapons. Like if Cam's rolling and TP's rolling, the floor spreads, and then it makes the game easy for everybody. And so, but those dudes work. Like they're in the gym, and they're challenging each other every day to see who's going to make the most shots and put in the most work. And so they're good for each other.
Not to steer away from this win so quickly, but you play Providence in the Bahamas pretty soon. What do you think you'll see once you get down there and play that competition?
Man, I got to go finish packing, and then we're going to get on the bus. But you know what we're going to do? Right now we're going to celebrate this win, because it is hard to win in college basketball. And I hadn't seen all the scores, but I'm pretty sure there was an upset tonight, right? And I'm just thankful we're not that team that's on the upset side of things. So we're going to celebrate, and then we're going to get to Providence tomorrow.
Coach, saw you getting after Cam pretty hard there, even when he was playing well. Is he a guy who responds well to you coaching him hard, and then just how high are your expectations for him?
Yeah, Cam. All great ones want to be challenged, and Cam could have had 30 tonight, right? But he got a little cute on a couple shots, and they messed up a couple plays, coming out of timeouts, and so those are things that all the great ones want to be challenged, and I think Cam can be like a really really good basketball player, like really good, and so I want to stay on him. We got a long way to go, and he embraces it.
I was wondering if you could take me back really quickly to that initial conversation that you had with Cam during this offseason, maybe when you said or suggested to him that he needed to be, the scorer now, how that conversation went.
I think Cam seeing Marquise and Keontae leaving gave him confidence. Like he looked around and said, okay, those guys are gone, now it's my turn. And that automatically made him a better player. And then he went in the gym and he worked really, really hard at it. And probably after we got back from Israel and we started practicing, he was trying to be too much of a facilitator. And, it wasn't looking very good. And so I just told him, Cam, this is what we need from you. And if you will focus on this, and I told the team, if Cam drives and you're wide open, he doesn't throw it to you, don't be mad, right? He's going to shoot the ball because I told him to, and you are going to go rebound because Cam's not going to throw the pass, okay? And when Cam was able to focus in on doing one thing, the rest of it became easier for him. And as you see, and it's going to continue. And but he just wants to win, and that's the way he's going to help us win this year.
There were a few times tonight that all three freshmen were on the court at the same time. What does that just say about the trust you have in them?
Ooh. They're all three good players, and we try not to put all three of them out there together because the staff was telling me, like, hey, all three freshmen out there. Time and score allowed for us to take some risks there, but they're all three good players, and they're going to be really good basketball players. So I don't know that we necessarily went into it with that in mind, or even in the sub rotation that's what we expect. But when somebody makes a defensive mistake and we got to take them out the game, that's just the next guy up. And so that probably happened on accident a few times, and then they started playing well, so we just let it roll.
David Gasson, I think double digits rebounding again. Are you getting what you want from him in that respect?
Yeah, he's playing with energy, and doing the things we like him to do, and he's playing with a smile on his face, and giving other people energy. And as he stops worrying about whether he's going to make shots or not, I think the game's going to become a lot easier for him, and he's going to be a better player for us.
I think he had a nice behind the back.
Oh, the
pass
pass
to
by, yeah. Dave knows how to play. Like, he's got a good feel, right? And so that's what we want him to do, and not worry about whether a 3-point shot goes in or not.
Anything else for Coach? Okay, thank you guys.
See you guys in the Bahamas.